Room software.
Welcome to a small development video here on the channel where I'm gonna explain the progress in both MCG Space plugin, soon to be called MCG StarCraft, and the Minestore plugin, which did not get much updates lately, but I will tell the reason in a few moments. First, I'm gonna start with the MCG Space. That's the old name, that's why I'm calling it now, but soon I will call it MCG StarCraft as it's gonna be called like that. Do not mistake it with the other game called StarCraft, because it's not. It's not even close to that game. Anyways, I have here my testing area where I always test my plugins with. Nice software for the maker of this one. It's just a Spigot server. I have the files over here, and as you can see here, it's here. So I just installed a CMI, a Vault, and the plugin Space plugin, of course, and luck perms for the permissions management, so I can test it fully with economy and with other stuff. So when I click start, and that's why I have this console open instead of starting in game, I wanted to show you how the generation starts. Ignore the first error, that's because I'm using a weird version of World Edit. So at the top it says malformed settings. I have no idea why, but it's a development build of World Edit. It's I used to test some stuff out, by the way. So that's also a plugin I have installed. It first starts generating the normal worlds, but as soon as it starts my plugin, the Space plugin, as you can see, is gen ID checking, and now it's generating World Aquatic. As you can see, the preparing spawn area goes like it should be, radiated as well, but there are some worlds that require a little bit longer load time due to the fact I use bigger population, and that's why it currently states populating this can take some time, stand by. This is a normal thing, and it only happens on first generation. Since Minecraft 1.14, and I believe 1.13 too, I am not sure, they have new rules. For example, if I generate something, betterly say populate something outside of a chunk, or on the edge of the chunk, and it goes over the chunk edge, then the server simply stops loading and stops completely. Basically some kind of small amount of crash. So I had to work my ass off to get it working with the latest versions. And it works on a chunk-based grid now, but in some worlds you cannot even see it. Well, as you can see, the space has generated, and now it goes to organic, which is also a world type. The world names are editable, but the world folders themselves will stay the same. So the names are set in the configuration and will point to the names you set. However, the worlds that are generated will always be the same name. So what people see can be different than what it actually is. However, I recommend to keep it like it is, as it's more realistic, to say the least. As you can see, Organic had a lot of spawn area preparing. That's because it has some special features. Rocky as well is a world with a lot of terrain detail. So where Rocky is a world that has asteroids as well as weird rock formations, the organic world is completely covered with organic stuff. Grass, plants, slime trees, by the way, that's also a nice thing to know, and other stuff. Well, since it's now started, you can see that it's loading files. Loading buildings, to be exact. Rockets 1, 2, 3, 4, compressor 1, 2, 3, 4, and refinery 1, 2, 3, 4. Why 4, you might ask? Well, one of each direction you can build it in. Because the old version was always made in a certain way that you can only build it at one moment, and it doesn't matter how you build it, it always ended the same. Now you have buildings that are more realistic and bigger, but they require rotation. So that's why these are made. The code is basically checking each block that you build from a starting point. And that one is going to be asked in game. However, the build system is not done yet, so I cannot show it to you guys. But I can show you the basic air systems that are built in. Sorry, excuse me for that. And I also can show you the effects functionality in the worlds as they are currently be. The death events are also built in. So it replaces special death message in all space worlds that are added. The mobs are also being replaced on some worlds. I'm working on that. So let's dive into it. I'm using the Chroma Hells resource pack, so do not think it's normal. So let's join the game. Once we are in this one, I can tell you for sure that you are gonna see that it takes some time to load. It's all on one computer and it's taking some resources. Anyways, new player account. As you can see, I get the default stuff. My shader pack is still on. Anyways, possible lag can be the shader pack. I have a minimap and such. So, yeah, it looks weird, but that's because I never set up the worlds. Anyways, the space command has a TP command, so I can show you all the worlds. But before I do that, GM1, game mode 1. Game mode, damn it. I keep forgetting that I have not enabled aliases. Anyways, space, TP, space. The most important world here, the space world. Do not mind the time at this moment. Let's turn it to nighttime so you can see it a little bit better. There you go. Well, to be short, I'm suffocating. That's the oxygen system that I'm testing out. The oxygen system, however, is currently based on 100 of those small little progress bar dots. And once I finish the fuel system, this bar will split in two and will show you the fuel and the oxygen. So currently this is the space world. You have different types of planets. Those look the same, but they're always randomized. The system keeps generating random planets and worlds. I recommend everybody to pre-render this world, but basically it does not crash the server if you fly around. This also means that I can show you the effects: jump boost, slow falling, and mining fatigue. Why this is here? It's hard to move in space. Seriously, it's hard. However, the worlds, some worlds have a core, which means that some planets will give you resources if you get to them. Getting to those planets is an all different story. This one has redstone blocks as core. But this is a good example of what I meant with the chunk boundary. This planet is so big that it doesn't fit in a chunk, and it just cuts up one slice of the side. One little slice is cut off. I cannot do much about this, sadly. The planets are made of concrete in different colors, as well as glowstone everywhere. The nice example of these were that we have all kinds of colors, but also all kinds of sizes. Like this one. This is a very small planet. It's made of green concrete, if I'm correct. And this one doesn't have a core. Anyways, many has cores. You also have those lava planets with a halo made of magma blocks. Also very nice. But for the air part, space, give air. Did I do it? Fill air. What was the command again? I added a debug command. Anyways, I gave myself air normally. Be right back, I will get it up. My bad. As soon as I closed my recording, I forgot that it is set air and not give air. Oh. I gave myself 99 air, and you can see that is 470. A little bit weird, isn't it? Well, why is this? Now, my air tank that I have holding on my back is 20 air big. As soon as I add more than 20, it goes up. Way more up. It goes down with 1 each second. So, looking at the counter, it looks like I'm having way too much air in my suit. That's because I gave myself 99, but 20 is only valid in my chest. So it's possible to give more than people have. However, this means that they can stay a little bit longer in the space world. The suit is upgradable. In this plugin, I will make the suit upgradable. That's something that goes into the beta version of my plugin. I will first release for everyone the alpha release with a basic suit with a basic amount of air. And once that is released, I will start adding more features and building it out from there. I want to have the basic functionality, rocketing, generating air into the suit, those things. As you can see now, my bar is emptying, and it's pretty fast, it looks like, but it is not pretty fast. It is 20 air, so 20 seconds of air, and currently we are using 20 seconds of air. So it is working. But as soon as it's empty, I'm suffocating. The bar turns red and I will get damage every second. So if I go to game mode survival, let me do it correctly this time, you can see that I'm suffocating. I'm dying literally of the air that I'm losing too much. Also the jumping and such stays working even if I get damage. The old space plugin might have issue with that one. So that might be the issue. Anyways, now for the space TP aquatic. This is an old one. This is a very much known one. The old aquatic world. Yes, it is real. There was an aquatic world before. A terrible one, by the way. Which has 8 layers of water, I believe, then sandstone, sand, then sandstone, and then underneath a cave with grass. And lava underneath that, and then bedrock. Currently, it's fine-tuned and upgraded. First of all, the lily pads are now more round and bigger to found. However, you can see it, but they are in lines. Why is that? The chunk limit. This is a chance that you have that they are spawning next to each other, but it's random. So basically it's random. As you can see here, normally this doesn't happen very often. This is one of my other tests. So yeah, it's possible that they're next to each other. Anyways, all the fish and such will spawn in this world. So there is a lot of fish to look out for. Also what you might notice is that it's very deep. This is really a world where you can survive underwater, if you like. There are drown spawning here, so the challenge is, of course, there. Now, you might find some glowstone in the floor. Do not worry, this is normal. These are things that are from the ceiling. I will explain. Let me dig down. In this case, we have a red sandstone floor and then sandstone underneath it. And then it goes into this cave. And that's why I said it's possible with the lowest ground level underwater. Since the ground level is not flat anymore, I'm using a new system to generate nice octaves of terrain, so that one part of the ocean is less deep than the other part. Then we have all those spheres hanging from the ceiling. Those spheres are hanging from wooden planks that you can dig out, of course. And then you have these monster egg based stone things which have mineral ore compounds, but it's very dangerous to walk here. In the few moments that I was here, there are mobs spawning literally everywhere. If I go into survival, I'm getting hammered down here. So it's not very easy, however it is cool to walk around. And to give an example on how fast things render around here, you can see it. I'm flying as fast as I can. And well, it's generating life for me. Even the monsters behind me spawn. All kinds of ores are foundable here. You can find everything about here. Anyways, even bats are spawning, skeleton groups are spawning. All those things here can have different cores. This is redstone one. So it doesn't always have to be redstone, but it's more likely to be redstone. Oh, this is one lapis. Lapis one. That's coal. So most ore types are foundable here up to diamond. But it also concludes the biome edges. So you have different color grounds. As well as that you can go underneath down to the ocean floor to get there. It's a real challenge to getting down there without being killed. On the way down, of course. So, well, it's an ocean, a very big one. A very, very big one. But yes, sometimes you might find some spots that light up. Well, it's a cool thing, I think. Oh, I accidentally hit my buttons. Then we have the Space Rocky. Space TP Rocky. I'm not awake, I think. Which is a world also requiring air, because it's some kind of asteroid with different types of stone. This world is made of stone. Completely, with weird rock formations, so hard to talk. And some spikes that stand out, some pieces of world. So, basically I made it so that you have like smooth cliffs. But also from those pillars standing up out of the ground or into the ground, by the way. Sinkholes. But what's special about this planet is that you can find spheres here as well. And it's home of many creatures. Currently this world is not covered by the mob manager at the moment, but it will be a spider based world. Because spiders can climb on the bottom of things. And against cliffs and such. So this is a world where spiders will be covering most of the area. So I'm trying to find a vine. Whoa. Well, we have one here. And if you dig into this one, there is a chance you can find some things. Sometimes. But I think this one is a huge one. Anyways, this is not normally supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a sphere, but it's possible that the generation backed out and took the color of one of these spheres for a piece of terrain. That's why I said it's a really early alpha and I can never get everything out. Although I have to say, because this has weird ceilings and such, be warned that this one can cause a little bit of lag if you explore with like 10 people at the same time. And depending on server performance, of course. Tough luck to find these asteroids. Look at that. It's cool, isn't it? There are stars everywhere, but also sometimes spheres spawn. Small asteroids that landed on the planet. Those spherical asteroids also contain minerals. This can be dirt, coal, anything like that. So sometimes it's a bit of searching before you get one. But as you see, it's there it is. There's one. This one is made of mossy cobblestone, and in this case contains diamonds. Nice one. So yeah, well, there are a lot of things, and it's layered based. So in this case, you see diorite and the side. Well, a lot of stone types. Beside the normal stone, so you can also find lots of stone that you might need here in this world. Underground, there are also spheres findable made of obsidian, for example. Then we have the organic. This is the world that I'm most impressed about because it exists completely out of organic stuff with floating asteroids and stars around. This world is exceedingly big in ways. You see that the bamboo is literally everywhere. Mushrooms in different types, leaves. This is a world, by the way, where leaf decay is not possible. Leaves will never decay here. Even if you cut down the tree, it will not decay. So be warned about that one. This is a world where it cannot decay to the organic substances around. And this is the only world where you can find my own custom designed slime trees. Yes, slime trees. So now slime blocks are easier to get. Same for my Celia, but anyways, this is a world with a lot of hills, high hills. Climbing through this against the bamboo and well, the mobs spawning everywhere. This is, by the way, a creeper world consisting of mostly creepers, and charge creepers will be added here as well. It keeps generating the bamboo, but once the bamboo has grown enough, and it's all completely grown, the lag should be way lower because they're all Minecraft and block updates. Not really a good connection, isn't it? The cores of these stars are most of the time ores as well, and they are way up into the sky. Underground is not much to be found. It's a solid floor. And as you can see here, this is the overview from my map. You can see all the asteroids everywhere, as well as some light up points for the stars that you can see around. Then we go to space, so radiate that for our, I think, final stop. This is one that also requires air. Organic did not require air. This one requires air, but also has some nasty thing which the mobs are dying for. And that is the planet is full of wither roses. Wither roses are pretty annoying, if I say so myself. If you walk around and you hit one, you get damaged directly with their effect. So yeah, well, it's dangerous here, beside the fact that you can find lava lakes in this world. Lava lakes will exist out of a pool of lava which goes, well, into the ground, to say the least. Things can burn sometimes. And if a fire starts, it's not very easy to stop it over here, because it will spread out to other plants around. So basically there is a lot to cover here. There are some, how do you call it? Those soul flowers, as I called them before, also custom designed. It looks like nothing, but it's a lot, because those soul sand will slow you down. Even if you jump over it, it can slow you down and hold you on those wither roses. Beside the facts that the large ferns here are always cut in half, so you will never get the full one, like so. The reason for that part is that I have some kind of custom plant idea for it, and that's visible right here. Over there you see a very good example of what you also can find here, and that's a plate of magma blocks with some lava in the middle, which is also something that you find most of the time in lower grounded areas instead of the higher ground areas. So, well, this is a very hard planet to walk in. However, once you set a foothold here, it's worth it. But you will, of course, you need air. And for that part, I have designed a special building air system, which I cannot go in depth right now, but it's pretty easy to understand. the very old space mods, not plugins, mods, had a feature that if you were in a building, you have air. Well, in this case, it's almost the same. You build a space base, no matter in which world you do it with the air things. You make sure that it doesn't exceed a size, and make sure that it opens and closes with a piston door. Not a normal door, a piston door. Why I say piston door? Because pistons lock up the area. So for example, if I go here, do this, like this, and then glass all around, and then a roof on top of it, as you can see, that will be closed off. If that thing closes, you are in closed space. And then we use in this plugin a node block with a sign on top of it or a block below it, and it will cause this room here to be filled with air. The bar on the bottom will disappear, and you will be in an air room that has air. It will disable that bar on the bottom, also disabling the view of the fuel you have left, because it's normally not needed to fly with a jetpack in your own base. So, well, anyways, this can used to make airlocks. For example, if you have a room beside this one, do not exceed the blocks that the base is built from. You can make multiple rooms with those airlocks in between that can open and close themselves with air generators in both rooms. That way you can make work of modules for your base. So in this case, I can for example say this one is filling this room with air, and this one is always closed, and then when I need to roof, I click the button, the door opens, I walk to this one, door closes, and there's air in this room. So basically, as long as the room doesn't exceed the size, it's airlocked and you have air there. It doesn't cost anything extra. Only that node block construction is needed once, and then you have air forever, with the limit of the room size, of course. So, well, that's for the air part of this side. Now, for the updates. I'm working every day for Piece of Peace on this plugin. People are currently PMing me all day, asking when I'm gonna release it, and I'm gonna be short to it. I do not know. Why? I have more in my life than just coding plugins. Beside the fact that nobody is really showing that they were interested in this plugin. They are all asking, I want it to be released. When it's released, I want to buy it. Of course, then I know that you like it and you want it. But some people are spamming a lot of that. I count like 4 people that are spamming me every day with these same questions in my private message box. That's why I'm locking it on Discord. Nobody can certainly make replies to me anymore. So if there is a certain question, ask it on the Discord support themselves. Link is findable on the product pages on Spigots. And otherwise you can always ask for the link on Spigot itself or start a message there. Keep in mind that abusing private messages, it will result in no support. This plugin is not released yet, and when I'm gonna release it, it will be in alpha, and it is a paid premium plugin. It will not be released for free. Keep that in mind. People can complain, because I already got some complaints that I'm gonna make it paid. They say that I must make it free because I'm using free resources. It's a no. I'm not only using free resources, also paid resources. Beside the fact that it costs me a lot of life time, real life time, to make these kind of plugins. And because it causes a lot of time and effort to go in there, I recommend to be nice and leave me that one-time small donation of the amount that the plugin will be worth. For the amount that you are asking all about, the starting price in the alpha will be 10 euros. As soon as it goes into beta, I will add 2 euros, and once it's released, 15 euros for the same plugin. Why? Because I want to make sure that everything works flawlessly before raising the price of this plugin. If you cannot afford it, do not whine with me about cannot pay it or something. If you cannot pay a plugin, you cannot pay a server. So if you cannot pay a server, you should not go for it, because you will need a server that's stronger than one that you can host for free out there. Beside the fact that this is really a plugin that I put a lot of time in, like I said before. And I'm not gonna give away all my free time and spare time as I already all doing. So now we have talked about the MCG Space plugin, or soon be called MCG StarCraft. I want to make another note about the MCG Minestore plugin. I just got a word, and I found out myself that some people that are using a PayPal account in the Europe region with the checkout that I have built into it, they will soon find out that payments are not working anymore because it requires more information. I already updated the web end files to conclude with the new API of PayPal, but that also means that free accounts are not eligible for selling purposes using that API. I sadly cannot access the API without a business account, and I have not a business, so I cannot access that API. So to be short, there are 2 PayPal gateways built in. Both are usable. For most of the world, there will be no changes in how it's used. But as I found out myself, because I'm not a company or not using a business PayPal account, my payments were not going through anymore. The API will not tell that it's paid, or will not run even on that page. So keep that in mind when using my system. Second to it is that the update. People are asking why I'm not updating it. Well, reason 1, it's stable. I did not get any report of anything broken. I did not get any report of anything that's not working or feature request, nothing. So, well, basically, many people are using it. I took a look at the statistics of my anti-abuse system. That's built in, and I can see that a lot of servers are starting this plugin up. Sadly, many people also leaked it. And by leaked it, I must say that people stole my plugin and then using it on servers that did not pay for it. Well, I have to announce that they are unlikely to use it again, because I already blocked over 300 servers that were leaking my plugin. So, well, they can keep trying, but they are adding to the automatic list and being blocked by the licensing system. If you purchase on Spigot, no worries, it auto-licenses you when you download your plugin to your Spigot nickname or Spigot ID and a random ID together. The random ID is used for my server identification system to know if you're abusing it or not. You may use it on one server at a time, and use it on a network is also allowed as long as you use it on the same IP address. And that's where it goes wrong with some people. I got one request of somebody asking me why it didn't work anymore. Well, to be short, I did not block him. My system blocked the update system in the plugin because he was using it on 6 different IP addresses at the same time. And that's something, sorry, I cannot support that. Because, well, if I support that, then it's impossible for me to notice when it's leaked. And I try to prevent it because it got a lot of work, and many developers stopped working and stopped making plugins due to this reason. So, well, I think I talked enough. Unless there are any bugs and such, I will not be updating Minestore very quickly because I have no idea anymore. I do not know what to put in. It's perfect. It has coupons, it has sales, it has many different things. There is one project that I'm working on behind the scenes, and that's a web interface for showing the products you have. However, due to the lack of response from the community about the plugin, I'm putting it on a low bit of fire because I do not want to work on something that's not going to be used. Then I can better spend the time making space plugin where I do get some response. So I thank you all for watching this video. I hope I answered most of the questions that people have and they like the preview that I have released about the space plugin. If there are any questions, do not hesitate, but come to our Discord server and talk to me about the questions you have, no matter what the questions are. Try not to repeat, of course, but I will answer them all. It's not within the minutes, but I can take up to a day or two to get a reply, depending on how busy I am. But most of the time I will reply within hours. Thank you all for watching again, and see you all next time. Good luck!